Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome viewers once more to my channel. Those of you that are regular viewers, you are most welcome. Those of you that are new, that have not subscribed, you are also most welcome. But please don't forget at the end of the presentation to like and subscribe to my videos so that you get notification of the new videos that I produce. Okay, so we're going to carry on with my educational PowerPoint presentations, and today's presentation is all about capital letters. So it's something, again, that people do make a lot of mistakes, and it is something that is going to get you lower marks if they're not used properly, especially for things like proper nouns, which obviously I will explain later. Okay, so in this presentation we're going to look at when it's appropriate to use a capital letter. So I think we all know what capital letters are, but just in case you don't, they are the big letters. So in English there are two types of letters, big letters and small letters, and I think in the modern terminology it's a lot better where it says lowercase and uppercase of course is the capital letters. Okay, so there are 10 places or occasions where you need to use a capital letter in its appropriate place. So I'm going to go through those 10 places as by way of explanation, and then I have 3 tasks which I want students to do. So please pause the slides when you get to the last ones, and then you can check the answers. Okay, the first one is to begin a sentence. Obviously, when we start a sentence, it has to be a capital letter. So we've got 2 examples here. We are tired, a short sentence where the first letter W has to be a capital. We are tired. And the second example, do not shed the blood of your brethren. Okay, so rather old-fashioned language, but obviously meant as a moral: do not kill your fellow mankind. All right, so just showing my age in all this, I'm afraid use a lot of examples from my time of life. Okay, number 2, to begin each line of poetry. Okay, so we've got 2 examples. Peace hath her victories. All right, it's taken from a famous poem, and the other one, I'm sure we'll all recognize, to be or not to be, from Shakespeare. The next one, to begin all proper nouns as well as proper adjectives. So proper nouns, don't forget the names of people, the names of places. But proper adjectives is where we are describing that proper noun. So we have the example here in the second one. We all like American food. So American is the proper adjective for an American. The first one, straightforward. We have 2 names, Farhat and Tasneem, and they live in the city of London. So Farhat starts with a capital letter, Tasneem starts with a capital letter, and of course London starts with a capital letter. And in secondly, obviously it starts with the W, start of the sentence, and American is the proper adjective. Okay, number 4. So I'm sorry if I'm going through these rather quickly. Obviously you can pause them if you so wish. To begin all nouns and pronouns that refer to God, Allah. Okay, so we've got 2 examples here. Praise be to Allah, the cherisher, the sustainer of the worlds. And again, the old-fashioned language. Thee do we worship, and thine aid do we seek. Okay, so I've taken these from a rather old translation. Okay, next one. To write the pronoun I, or sometimes we have this word O. Okay, so you see it in this sentence. Have mercy upon us, O Lord. Okay, and the pronoun I is always written as a capital letter. Okay, next one, the names of months and days. So the example here, Nigeth was born on Monday the 5th of April 2012. So her name is Nigeth, that's capital N. She was born on a Monday, capital M, and April has to have a capital A. And the second example, the day is Tuesday, so on Tuesday, and the month of course is May. On Tuesday the 30th of May it is my birthday, so Tuesday and May start off with a capital letter. Next one, to begin the first word of a direct quote. So you notice that it can be, the quote, it can be sort of where we say that someone said something, like in the first example, or we can have that at the end, as in the second example. So in the first one, she said, okay, and then we open the speech marks, life is but an empty dream. Okay, so we obviously start off the sentence with a capital S, and then as soon as the quote starts, it should be a capital letter because we are quoting somebody, and this is actually a poem by what's his name? I think it was Longfellow. Okay, so it's quite a positive poem, although it sounds as if he's saying it's an empty dream. Is, you know, in the poem he tells us to make the most of life, really. Okay, and number 2, a straightforward example, do not do that again, and we have an exclamation mark there as well. She shouted. Okay, so the capital letter is at the start of the speech. The next one, to begin common nouns which are personified. Alright, so in writing, or a good piece of writing often contains personification. Okay, so for those of you that have forgotten what personification is, used an awful lot in poetry, but it sort of, you know, adds quality to your writing. So it's where inanimate objects or things are given human quality. So here it's death, as if we're talking to death. Oh death, where is thy sting? Alright, so again I'm showing my age here, and you know, the sorts of things that I was taught. This actually comes from the Bible. Okay, and then we've got an even more intellectual one. Frailty, thy name is woman. Okay, so there should be a quiz question, but it is actually quite an easy one. This is from a Shakespeare play called Hamlet, I think. Okay, but the key thing that they start with capital letters. In the first one, death is the personification, because we are talking to it as if it is a noun or a thing, and frailty is also being talked about, which of course is weaknesses and not being able to cope with things. Okay, 9, to begin single letters standing for words as titles and certain abbreviations. Okay, so I think most of us know this. We have Dr. Haroon Rashid, and he has got an MA, which is a qualification, so the beginning of it begins with a D, and the qualification M and A are written as capitals. Okay, then we have M.A. Anwar. He has got a master's in education and a B.A. which is a university degree. Okay, finally, sorry. So to begin, the names of books, newspapers, journals, institutions, important historic events, important words, and headlines within newspapers. So I've got two examples. One is a newspaper and the other is a famous event, of course, the Battle of Britain and the Times. Okay, I think that's quite an easy topic, so I hope you have learned, you now know the 10 different situations where we use capital letters. So I've designed various tasks to be done. So I'm going to change the slide and obviously hold it for a few seconds so that you know what you have to do. Okay, so task 1, write out these proper nouns correctly. So they're all names of people, places. Do we have a country in there? Yes, we do. A country, even a planet. Okay, so you need to make sure that you know to write the capital letter in the appropriate place. So that is task 1. So I'm going to give that 10 more seconds. I'm going to move on to task 2 now. Okay, so a little bit more challenging. Says capitalize the proper nouns in these sentences. So you've got quite a few proper nouns, which don't forget are names of people, countries, etc. To write out. So once again, I will pause for a short while so that you are able to pause the video. Okay, I'm going to move on then. The next one is task 3, which I've made as a research task. So obviously there are going to be lots and lots of answers that are different. Okay, so it's to write an example of a proper noun for each of these common nouns. So when it's, when we say river, that in itself is not a proper noun. It has to be the actual name. So I'm going to give you the example there. Thames in London is a river. Okay, so I'm sure you can think of many others. Okay, viewers, so I hope you've written those down, and I do hope that by doing these tasks you have learned and you are able to or you will be able to use them in sentences and in your writings. Okay, so I'm going to reveal the answers now that you could have had or you should have had. So these are the answers for task 1. So I'll hold that for about 10 seconds so that you can check them. So, it has to be correct. Capital S for Sarah, capital S for small, capital A for Atik, and capital A for Anwar, etc. Okay. So that's task 1. That's task 2. There was sort of 2 or 3 within the sentences that were proper nouns. So Uncle Sam, Aunt Sally, France, etc. Okay, I'm going to move on to the final one, for which I've given some examples. Like I say, you will have your own answers as well. So here are some examples that you could have had. Okay, viewers, that brings us to the end of this presentation, and I do hope that you have learned from the explanations that I've given, the PowerPoints, and all that remains for me to say is to thank you once again for watching, and as always, please subscribe. I need to get to the the magic number of 1,000 as quickly as possible. Share my videos, and of course like, comment, criticize, whatever you so desire. Okay, so hopefully times will get better, and you are all keeping well, so look after yourselves, look after others. Okay, apna khayal rakhna, dusron ka bhi khayal rakhna. Allah Hafiz, until the next time, goodbye.